David Kendrick, in the lentil influencer. The lentil influencer, David Kendrick.
When is the last time that you've heard a speech or you heard someone talk and you got really, really fired up inside? When was the last time that you were really influenced by what anybody said and you thought to yourself, that's a good person right there? That's a great man, or that's a great woman. When you're a speaker, you have the power of influence. Many people listen to you, what they say, and they can decide to follow you, follow your visions, your goals, your aspirations. In America, the president is the most powerful person in the world. Whether you're Democrat, Republican, Independent, whatever, that is the most influential person in the world. And many people follow what he says, whoever it is. They follow their guidance, what they say. They want to be influenced during times of when things are great in the country, when things are bad in the country. One image that I'll never forget, after 9/11. At the time, President George Bush was at Ground Zero. And he gave this great speech. And at this time, I wasn't even old enough to vote. I was still in high school. But I'm from Rochester, New York. And the entire state of New York was under this big mass ball of confusion, under this state of emergency. And President Bush at the time, he gave this speech and it calmed everybody. He had great poise. And he said, you know what, America, we're going to get through this together. Now, if you've never been to Rising Phoenix before, we have a lot of military members in this group, including myself. Now, I don't know how many of you are military movie buffs, but there's no greater influencer than somebody ready to take people into war. When I deployed, it was 2006. I was a cavalry scout, and the war was really, really bad. But I had this great platoon sergeant from Texas, and he had this big, booming voice like this. And before every speech, he would say, men, look to your left, look to your right, make sure that the person comes home to their family. We're here for 12 months. We're going to do the job, and we're going to come home. And he was such a great guy. And I was 19 years old, and I was away from home. I was scared. But when he said that, I was under his influence, and I thought, man, I would die for this man. Because he was so influential, and it just got me so fired up to the point where I wasn't scared to go out anymore. I wasn't scared to go see what was beyond those gates. Because of his influence. The way he got us fired up, the way he motivated us to go to war. And that's the great thing about influence. That's the great thing about the gift of gab, public speaking. You can get people to do things that they normally wouldn't do, that they would be scared to do. Other influencers that are great speakers are sports coaches. So think of your favorite team, your favorite sport, mine is football. I broke my wrist when I was in 9th grade, playing football. And my coach, he gave me the old speech that all coaches say. He said, well, David, are you injured or are you hurt? I said, I don't know, coach, but I can't move my wrist. He said, well, David, son, I want you to go home, go to the doctor, find out what's going on. And when I told him my wrist was broken the next week, he sat me down and he said, well, David, good thing is you're young. You're going to heal. This is the beginning of your football career. And I said, well, coach, I can't play football anymore. And he said, David, that doesn't mean that you still aren't a part of the team. You're still a Franklin Q dog. You can come out there with us on the sidelines, give the team water, clap for us when we score a touchdown. Do all these great things. And I'm 19, or I'm about 13 years old. My wrist is broken. I can't play football. I'm down and out. And he influenced me with his words. And he just made me feel so good about myself. And that's the great thing about influence. Now, I myself, I like to influence as well. I have a special place in my heart for those individuals with disabilities. And when I got out the Army, I moved back home to Rochester, New York. And I used to supervise individuals with disabilities. And it was my job to train these individuals so they can eventually work in the civilian world. And I was mentoring somebody who had Down syndrome, and they just weren't exactly getting what we were supposed to do at work. And he said, I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. And I talked with him. I said, Robert, stop saying what you can't do and start telling me what you can do. What can you do? And I worked with him and I worked with him, and he eventually got out of the program that we're in, and he got this great job. And you know, a couple of months later, he came back to me and he said, David, I just want to thank you for influencing me, for motivating me. Because now I have this great job, and I didn't think I was going to be able to work in the regular world until you sat me down and had that speech. And that's what influencing is. That's what we do as public speakers. We get people to follow us. We take them on journeys that they didn't think they would be on. We take them great places, places they never thought they would be before. So Toastmasters, go out, use your voice, and influence somebody today.
Thank you, David.